By the year 2050, space agencies are going to establish colonies on Mars. Whereas NASA, ISRO, and almost all the space agencies of the world are also showing the most interest in Mars, but why only Mars? Why not Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune, and is it possible for humans to survive on Mars? Watch the entire video to know, because today we will talk in detail from the discovery of Mars to future colonization. First of all, let us know a little about Mars. Friends, there is one Sun and 108 planets in our solar system. All these planets revolve around the Sun all the time. Mars is our neighboring planet, where Earth is at number 3 in the solar system and is about 9.3 crore miles away from the Sun. Mars is at number 4 with being 14.2 crore miles away, although the size of Mars is about half of the Earth. Yes, where the diameter of Earth is 7,926 miles, whereas the diameter of Mars is only 4,220 miles, and in terms of weight it is approximately 1/10 of Earth, and Mars takes approximately 687 days to revolve around the Sun. It takes approximately 2 years, which is approximately 2 times longer than Earth. Why are scientists showing interest in Mars? So friends, scientists imagine humans living on Mars because the day-night cycle on Mars is almost like Earth, and a day on Mars is only 37 minutes longer than our day, which can be considered suitable for the human body. After doing research on the rocks and soil of Mars, the resources found out that about 3.3 billion years ago, like Earth, a lot of water was present on Mars in liquid form, and just like today 71% of the Earth is made up of water, similarly at that time water was present on 20% of Mars. There were very large oceans, rivers and ponds here which were filled with water, and even today scientists find signs of these rivers on the surface of Mars. Therefore, thousands of years ago, Mars looked like Earth, and its climate condition was also very similar to our Earth. Gradually this water dried up, and due to the change in climate conditions, this planet started drying up and becoming barren. When water and atmosphere were present on Mars, then the average temperature there was only a few degrees less than the Earth. This is because the distance between Mars and the Sun was more, so the heat of the Sun reached Mars less than the Earth. But this same Sun destroyed the atmosphere of Mars. Yes, you heard it right. Actually, about 4 billion years ago, due to the lower mass and density of Mars, its inner core was cooling rapidly, and we all know that if there is no inner core then there is no magnetic field. And at that time, Mars lost its magnetic field, due to which all its water started going into space. Actually, when a planet in space does not have its own magnetic field, then the radiation coming from the Sun completely destroys its atmosphere. Due to the absence of magnetic field, the atmosphere of Mars also started getting destroyed with time, and in some time the situation became so bad that the water present on Mars hemorrhaged and went into space, and some percentage of water froze in the form of ice. That means today there is not a single drop of water present on Mars in the form of liquid, so if any species of life would have lived on Mars, then it would have been destroyed due to this doomsday. However, friends, water is present in the form of ice on the surface of Mars right now. There are priceless treasures for human settlements, and there is also a 24-hour day that is suitable for living, but due to reasons like absence of magnetic field, dangerous radiation from the Sun, fierce dust storms, and most importantly lack of oxygen, life is not possible on Mars today. But scientists believe that they can make Mars habitable by using technology. That is why scientists are most interested in Mars in the solar system. But now a question arises. This is what will be done to avoid the radiation coming from the Sun. So friends, on this the scientists say that with the help of technology we can create artificial magnetic field between Mars and Sun, which will increase the pressure of air and temperature on Mars, and the carbon dioxide deposited on the North Pole of Mars will start melting, and the greenhouse effect will start, which will turn the ice deposited on the ground into rivers and seas. Friends, theoretically this can be absolutely possible. Now let's know how the first house will be built on Mars. If humans go to Mars, then a house with strong walls will be needed to live, because at present 96% carbon dioxide, 1.93% argon, 0.2% nitrogen and only 0.14% oxygen is present in the atmosphere of Mars. That is, like a space shuttle, oxygen cylinders and oxygen wallet rooms will be needed for humans to breathe. Apart from this, shelters will be needed to avoid the radiation of the sun coming on Mars. This will be necessary because at this time the radiations of Mars are so dangerous that if humans come in direct contact with them, they can suffer from terrible diseases and in some cases even die. Therefore, before humans set foot on Mars, scientists will send some robots with artificial intelligence to which they will be able to give commands while sitting on Earth. These robots will have various tools, cameras, 3D printers and camera systems for digging the soil. These robots will search for special soil on Mars through sensors, then the robots digging the soil will start digging on the surface of Mars. After that the second robot will lift the soil and take it to its refining units, after which the third robot will bring the soil to the 3D printing unit, which will make strong shelters from this soil through 3D printing. In this way houses will be built on Mars. Now let's know how will be the first step of humans on Mars. After building shelters on Mars, a team of scientists will land on the planet. The robots present there will take them to these high-pressure shelters. Actually the pressure of Mars is very low, so humans will not be able to survive inside those shelters without high pressure. To maintain this high pressure, electricity will be produced through solar panels. Life outside the shelter. Scientists say that they will design such an automatic car which will connect to the shelter door as soon as the command to go somewhere is given, and the person will sit in that car directly from the shelter, because if the doors of those high-pressure shelters are opened like this then the pressure inside can get disturbed. Apart from this, there are such big dust storms on Mars which scientists have seen many times covering the whole planet in the form of a sheet. In such a situation, humans cannot face such storms in the open, because if they do so then the dust will go into their lungs and there will be difficulty in breathing. Apart from this, the dangerous radiation present on the planet is enough to make one sick. In such a situation, the solution to this problem is spacesuit. Yes, all the people living on Mars will always roam around in spacesuits which will be attached to oxygen cylinders with modern technology. But the biggest question is what will be the arrangement for food on Mars. Humans will not be able to live on Mars which has barren land. The biggest challenge will be food, because if food is sent from Earth in space shuttle every time, then it will become very expensive. Apart from this, fresh food is very important for our body, so a greenhouse will be developed to grow food on Mars, in which the necessary air, light and water will be supplied to the plants inside the container itself. These plants will not only provide food but will also increase oxygen in the environment around them, but it is very difficult to grow food for millions of people in these greenhouses. So scientists have theoretically found a solution to this, that they will put microbes and recycled biological-based materials taken from here in the soil present on Mars, due to which the infertile soil will turn into fertile soil. At the same time, for the sunlight necessary for farming, Elon Musk has thought that he will put a satellite in the orbit of Mars. There will be a big reflector on it, and that reflector will reflect the solar power coming from the sun to Mars. But the reflector will do it. As greenery comes on Mars, the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere will increase and the amount of carbon dioxide will decrease, and it is possible that the atmosphere may become suitable for human habitation at some point. Measures to protect from cold. According to Elon Musk, who dreams of cloning Mars, its atmosphere can be made as dense as Earth's by conducting a nuclear explosion on the surface of Mars, because a large amount of carbon dioxide is present beneath the surface of Mars, and the carbon dioxide released from the ground due to the explosion will increase the temperature of the planet significantly, which can help in avoiding the cold nights there. Actually, at this time the atmosphere of Mars is so thin that it cannot stop the radiation coming from the sun, and also because of this the heat coming from the sunlight hits the surface of Mars and goes back into space. Due to this the night temperature on Mars goes up to -99 degrees Celsius, but due to the dense atmosphere this heat will remain on the planet and this freezing cold will gradually decrease. However, making Mars habitable in imagination is easier than it is in reality. It is more difficult and expensive, so now it remains to be seen whether scientists are able to fulfill the dream of establishing life on Mars or not. So friends, if human colonization happens on Mars in the future, Will you leave Earth and go to live on Mars? Please tell us by commenting, and if you liked the information, then like and share the video, subscribe to our channel and press the notification bell. Thank you.